Lee Taman stood in the Great Hall of the Galaxy Council. The massive room could hold 10,000 beings from across the stars. Today it felt like a trap. Around him sat creatures from hundreds of worlds. Some looked like giant lizards. Others were made of crystal or moved like liquid metal. All of them stared at him with anger. The human ambassador kept his face calm. He had practiced this moment for months. Behind him sat the small group of human diplomats. They were the only ones who looked relaxed in the whole room. Council Speaker. Veltar rose from his golden throne. The tall, blue-skinned alien pointed one of his 4 arms at Lee Taman. His voice boomed across the hall. Human Ambassador Lee Taman, your species has gone too far this time. 3 days ago, your warships attacked and destroyed a legal Velkari trading convoy. You killed 200 peaceful traders. Lee Taman smiled slightly. Those traders were selling human children as slaves, Speaker Veltar. We rescued 47 of our people from their cargo holds. A wave of angry sounds filled the hall. The aliens made clicking, hissing, and roaring noises. Veltar slammed his staff on the floor for silence. The Velkari had proper trading permits. Those humans were legally purchased from the Zorth Empire. Your attack was unprovoked piracy. We do not recognize any law that makes humans property, Lee Taman said clearly. His voice carried to every corner of the huge room. On the human ship Indomitable, Captain Park Sora watched the council meeting on her screen. Her crew stood around her on the bridge. All of them were tense. They knew this day would change everything. Captain, said her communications officer, Admiral Kim Dong-ho wants to speak with you. Park Sora nodded. The face of Earth's military leader appeared on her screen. The old man looked tired, but determined. Sora, are you ready? He asked. Yes, sir. All human ships are in position. We're waiting for the signal. It won't be long now. The ambassador is about to deliver our answer. Back in the council hall, Veltar was reading from a long list. The Galaxy Council has decided humans are too violent to govern themselves. You will accept our behavioral modification program. Human military forces will be disbanded. Human colonies will be supervised by council peacekeepers. Human children will be educated in council schools to remove their aggressive nature. The other council members nodded and made approving sounds. They had been planning this for years. Humans were too dangerous to leave alone. They fought too well. They never gave up. They made other species look weak. Lee Taman listened to the whole list. When Veltar finished, the human ambassador stood up slowly. The hall became quiet. Everyone wanted to hear how the humans would beg for mercy. Speaker Veltar, honored council members, Lee Taman began. His voice was calm and respectful. I have listened to your demands. I understand your fears. You see humans as a problem that needs to be solved. He walked to the center of the room. You want to change us because we think differently. You want to control us because we act differently. You want to break us because we fight differently. The alien leaders leaned forward. This was not what they expected. But there is something you do not understand about humans, Lee Taman continued. We are not afraid of you. We never have been. We joined the Galaxy Council because we hoped to learn from you. We followed your rules because we wanted peace. We accepted your insults because we believed in cooperation. His voice grew stronger. But you mistake our patience for weakness. You think our kindness means we are helpless. You believe our respect for life makes us easy to defeat. Veltar stood up again. Human, you will accept our terms or face the consequences. Lee Taman reached into his jacket. Every alien in the room tensed. Guards moved forward. But the human only pulled out a small device. He spoke into it clearly. "Earth Command, this is Ambassador Lee Tae-min. The Galaxy Council has made their choice. They choose to be our enemies. I hereby invoke Directive 7. All diplomatic ties are severed. All treaties are void. All human personnel are ordered to return home immediately." He looked up at the shocked aliens. "We reject your authority. We reject your laws. We reject your right to judge us. From this moment, humanity stands alone." On ships across the galaxy, human captains received the same message. Captain Park Sora smiled as she heard the words she had been waiting for. "All stations, this is the captain. Directive 7 is now active. We are no longer part of the Galaxy Council. We owe them nothing. We follow only human law now." Her crew cheered. They had been pretending to be weak for so long. Now they could show their true strength. In the council hall, panic was beginning. Veltar shouted orders, but Lee Tae-min was already walking toward the exit. The other human diplomats followed him calmly. "Stop!" Veltar screamed. "You cannot leave! We will destroy your pathetic species!" Lee Tae-min paused at the door. He turned back to look at the thousands of aliens. "You spent so much time planning how to control us. You never asked what would happen if we decided to stop pretending to need your permission." As the humans left, emergency alarms began sounding. Reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Human colonies were declaring independence. Human ships were disappearing from their positions. Human diplomats and traders were vanishing from every council world. Council Security Chief Mordak burst into the hall. His 8 eyes were wide with fear. "Speaker Veltar, we have a problem. The humans, they're gone. All of them. Every human in council space has vanished in the last hour." Veltar's blue skin turned pale. "That's impossible. We monitor their communications. We track their ships." "Sir," Mordak said quietly, "it appears we were only monitoring what they wanted us to see." On Earth, Admiral Kim Dong-ho sat in the war room. Screens showed human ships all across the galaxy. For the first time in decades, they were flying their true colors. No more pretending to be peaceful traders. No more hiding their real weapons. No more following alien rules. He opened a channel to all human forces. "This is Admiral Kim Dong-ho. For too long, we have let others tell us how to live. We have accepted their insults and followed their laws. We have been patient with their greed and kind to their cruelty." His voice echoed across human space. But patience has its limits. Today, those limits have been reached. Today, we remind the galaxy what happens when you threaten a human's family. Today, we stop asking for permission to exist. The Galaxy Council had wanted to break humanity's spirit. Instead, they had awakened something they did not understand. They had forgotten the most important rule of dealing with humans. Never corner a predator unless you are prepared for war. Dr. Yoon Hana walked through the secret research lab deep under Seoul. The facility did not exist on any official records. For 15 years, she had been studying the aliens of the Galaxy Council, not their technology or their culture, but their weaknesses. She stopped at a massive wall covered with charts and pictures. Each section showed a different alien species. Red marks highlighted their vulnerable spots. Notes described their fears and blind spots. "Director Choi will want to see this," she said to her assistant. "Send him the final report." Across the City Intelligence Director Choi Min-ho received the message in his underground office. He had been waiting for this day since humans first joined the Galaxy Council. While diplomats talked peace, He had been preparing for war. The report made him smile. Dr. Yoon Ha-na had found something important. Every alien species in the Council had evolved the same way. They were either hunters or prey. The hunters were strong and aggressive. The prey were smart and careful, but none of them understood humans. Humans were different. They were persistence hunters. They did not give up. They did not stop. They followed their target until it collapsed from exhaustion. No alien species had ever developed this way. Choi Min-ho opened his secure communications. Messages flooded in from human agents across the galaxy. For 20 years, these men and women had been living among the aliens. They worked as mechanics, teachers, and clerks. The aliens thought they were harmless refugees or simple traders. They were wrong. On the space station, Nexus Prime, Council Security Chief Mordak stared at his computer screens in horror. Every secure Council communication from the past 10 years was displayed in front of him. Someone had been reading their most secret messages. "How is this possible?" he whispered. His aide, a nervous creature with 6 arms, brought him another report. "Sir, it gets worse. The humans had people working in every major Council facility. We counted over 3,000 human agents. They had access to everything." Mordak felt sick. The humans had been watching them for decades. They knew every Council plan, every military secret, every trade route. The aliens had thought they were spying on humans. Instead, humans had been spying on them. Back on Earth, Dr. Yoon Ha-na presented her findings to the War Council. Admiral Kim Dong-ho and the other military leaders listened carefully as she explained what she had discovered. "The Velkari are apex predators," she said, pointing to their picture. "They are used to frightening their enemies into submission. They have never fought an enemy that got stronger when threatened." She moved to the next image. "The Zorth are herd animals. They panic when separated from their group. Their whole military doctrine depends on staying together." "What about the Crystalline Union?" asked Admiral Kim Dong-ho. "Pure prey species," Dr. Yoon Ha-na replied. "They have survived by being smarter than their enemies and running away when threatened. They have never faced an enemy that learns from every encounter." General Park Jin-woo leaned forward. "Doctor, are you saying we have an advantage over all of them?" "I am saying they do not understand what we are," she answered. "They see us as either predators or prey. They cannot imagine a species that is both. We can hunt like predators and think like prey. We can be patient like farmers and violent like warriors." On the planet Kepler-7, the human colony there had just declared independence. Colony leader Bae Young-soo stood before 10,000 human settlers. Behind them, the alien overseer post was empty. The Council representatives had fled when the human security team politely asked them to leave. "My friends," Bae Young-soo said to the crowd, "for 15 years we have lived under alien rules. We paid their taxes, we followed their laws, we let them tell us how to live on our own world." The colonists cheered. They had been waiting for this moment. Today, that ends. Today, we are free. And tomorrow, we will show the galaxy what free humans can build. Across human space, the same scene was playing out on hundreds of worlds. Human colonies were throwing off Council control, but they were not doing it with violence. They were doing it with confidence. The aliens had not realized how many humans lived in Council space. Official records showed 2 billion humans in the galaxy. The real number was closer to 50 billion. For decades, humans had been quietly spreading to every corner of known space. Director Choi Min-ho watched the reports come in from his secret command center. Operation Homecoming was proceeding perfectly. Every human agent was extracting safely. Every hidden facility was being evacuated. 20 years of careful planning was paying off. "Sir," his communications officer called out, "we're receiving the final intelligence packages from our deep cover agents." The information was incredible. The Council had been planning to attack Earth for 5 years. They had been building a massive fleet in secret. They thought humans would never find out. They were wrong about that, too. On the Council world of Altair 9, human maintenance worker Lee Jin-ho finished downloading the last of the military computer files. For 8 years, he had been working in the Council's main military base. The aliens thought he was just another stupid human who fixed their machines. He was actually a former Special Forces officer with 3 engineering degrees. Lee Jin-ho walked calmly to his transport ship. In a few hours, he would be back in human space. Behind him, the alien military computers would start failing one by one. It would take them months to figure out what had gone wrong. Back in the Galaxy Council chamber, Speaker Veltar was reading report after report of human disappearances. Every Council world had lost its human population overnight. Worse, many of their computer systems were starting to malfunction. "How many humans were really in our space?" he asked Mordak. "We thought maybe 2 billion, sir. But based on the evacuation numbers, it might have been 50 times that many." Veltar's forearms began shaking. "You mean there were 100 billion humans in Council space? How did we not know?" "Sir, I think they didn't want us to know." Council War Minister Zephyros stormed into the chamber. His reptilian face was twisted with rage. "The humans have stolen our military database. They know every ship location, every base, every weapon system." "How much did they take?" Veltar asked. "Everything, sir. 20 years of military intelligence. They know our strengths, our weaknesses, our plans. They know things about us that we forgot we knew." Dr. Yoon Hana's final report reached Admiral Kim Dong-ho as he prepared for the next phase. Her conclusions were simple, but terrifying for the aliens. "The Galaxy Council species have been at peace for too long," she wrote. "They have forgotten how to fight a real war. They rely on intimidation and overwhelming force. They have never faced an enemy that adapts and learns. Humans have been pretending to be weak for 20 years. In that time, we have studied every alien military tactic. We have learned from every council battle. We have prepared for every possible scenario. The aliens think they are about to fight the humans they have always known. They are wrong. They are about to fight the humans we have always been." Admiral Kim Dong-ho closed the report and smiled. The Galaxy Council wanted to destroy humanity. They thought humans were just another primitive species that could be bullied into submission. Soon, they would learn the truth. Humans were not another species. They were something the galaxy had never seen before. They were patient, intelligent, adaptable, and absolutely ruthless when protecting their own. The Council had started this fight, but humans were going to finish it. Fleet Admiral Kang Ji-won stood on the bridge of the battleship Eternal Dawn. Through the massive viewing window, she could see 300 human warships. They hung in space like sleeping giants. For 20 years, these ships had been hidden in asteroid fields and empty star systems. The Galaxy Council had never known they existed. "Admiral," her communications officer called out, "President Shin Hye-jin is ready to speak with you." The face of Earth's leader appeared on the main screen. President Shin Hye-jin looked tired, but determined. Behind her, the lights of Earth's capital city sparkled in the night. Admiral Kang, the Council has made their choice. They sent a battle fleet to attack the human colony on New Tokyo. 3 million civilians are in danger. How long do we have? Admiral Kang asked. 6 hours before they reach the colony. The Council fleet has 47 ships. They think it will be an easy victory. Admiral Kang smiled coldly. What are your orders, Madam President? Stop them. Show the galaxy what happens when someone threatens human families. You have my authorization for unrestricted response protocols. The connection ended. Admiral Kang turned to her crew. Every person on the bridge was focused and ready. They had trained for this moment their entire careers. Helm, set course for New Tokyo. Maximum speed. Yes, ma'am. Travel time, 4 hours. Communications, send a message to all ships in Wolfpack Formation Alpha. Tell them it's time to hunt. Across human space, similar scenes were playing out. Hidden fleets were coming. Out of hiding, secret weapons were being activated. The peaceful, harmless humans the aliens knew were revealing their true nature. On New Tokyo, Colony Governor Oh Sung-min watched the Council fleet approaching on his sensors. The alien ships were massive and heavily armed. They looked unstoppable. He was not worried. Citizens of New Tokyo, he announced over the colony's communication system, Council ships are approaching our world. They come to attack innocent families. They believe we are helpless. 3 million colonists listened to his words. They did not panic. They did not run. They prepared. In 2 hours, they will learn what every human child knows. We protect our own, no matter the cost. Hidden weapon systems around the planet began powering up. Defensive shields that had been disguised as ordinary buildings came online. The peaceful farming colony transformed into a fortress. Council War Minister Zephyros led the attack fleet personally. He stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Destroyer of Worlds. Around him, 46 other ships prepared for battle. Today we teach the humans their place, he announced to his fleet. After we destroy this colony, they will beg for mercy. His communications officer looked worried. Sir, we're detecting some unusual energy readings from the planet. Probably their primitive defense systems. Ignore them. The Council fleet dropped out of hyperspace near New Tokyo. Zephyros expected to see a helpless farming world. Instead, his sensors showed something impossible. The planet was surrounded by defensive platforms. Massive weapons pointed at his fleet. Energy shields covered every major city. This was not a farming colony. This was a military fortress. How is this possible? Zephyros whispered. His tactical officer's voice was shaking. Sir, we're also detecting ships approaching from behind us. A lot of ships. Admiral Kang Jiwon's fleet dropped out of hyperspace like avenging angels. 300 human warships appeared in perfect formation. Each ship was sleek, fast, and heavily armed. They did not look like the clumsy trading vessels the Council had seen before. Council fleet, this is Admiral Kang Jiwon of the Human Defense Force. You are threatening innocent civilians. Leave immediately or face the consequences. Zephyros laughed. Human Admiral, you are outnumbered. We have 47 ships. You have... Wait! His sensors officer was frantically counting. How many ships do they have? 300, sir. And more are arriving. As if summoned by his words, 2 more human fleets appeared. Then 3 more. Within minutes, over 1,000. Human ships surrounded the Council force. This is impossible, Zephyros muttered. Intelligence said humans only had 50 ships total. Admiral Kang's voice came over the communications again. War Minister Zephyros, your intelligence was wrong about many things. This is your final warning. Leave now. Zephyros was a proud warrior. He had conquered dozens of worlds. He would not be intimidated by humans. All ships. Attack formation. Show these primitives our power. The Council ships moved into their traditional battle line. It was a formation that had won 1,000 victories. Each ship had its place. Each captain knew his role. It was perfect. Military precision. It was also exactly what the humans expected. Helm, Admiral Kang said calmly. Initiate Wolfpack Formation 7. The human fleet scattered like leaves in the wind. One moment they were in neat rows. The next, they were everywhere. Small groups of ships moved in perfect coordination. They flowed around the Council formation like water around rocks. Zephyros watched in confusion as the humans began their attack. He expected them to face his ships directly. Instead, they attacked from all sides at once. They hit weak points he didn't know existed. They moved in patterns that made no sense. "What are they doing?" he demanded. His tactical officer stared at his screens. "Sir, I think they're hunting us." The human ships moved like a pack of wolves attacking a herd of buffalo. They separated the Council ships from each other. They picked off the weak ones first. They never stayed in one place long enough to be targeted effectively. Council ship Devastator tried to turn and fight 3 human ships. Before it could fire, 6 more humans attacked from behind. The ship's shields collapsed under the coordinated assault. Mighty Hammer attempted to protect its smaller escorts. Human ships swarmed around it like angry bees. They struck from every angle simultaneously. The massive battleship found itself fighting 30 enemies at once. Admiral Kang watched the battle from her command chair. Her ships moved with impossible coordination. Every captain knew exactly where to be and when. They had practiced this formation for years in secret. "Target the command ship," she ordered. "Show them what happens when you threaten our families." 20 human ships converged on Zephyros's flagship. They moved in perfect synchronization. Their weapons fired as one. The Council ship's shields failed instantly. "This is Admiral Kang to War Minister Zephyros. Your ship is disabled. Your fleet is defeated. Surrender now and we will spare your crews." Zephyros looked around his broken bridge. Half his fleet was destroyed or disabled. The survivors were trying to retreat, but human ships blocked every escape route. "How?" he whispered. "How did you become so strong?" "We were always this strong," Admiral Kang replied. "We just let you think we were weak." The battle lasted 3 hours. When it ended, the Council fleet was completely destroyed or captured. Not a single human ship was lost. The aliens had fought with courage and skill, but they were fighting the wrong kind of war. News of the battle spread across the galaxy at light speed. Council worlds received the reports with growing horror. The humans had not just won, they had won easily. On the Council capital world, Speaker Veltar read the battle reports with shaking hands. "Our entire attack fleet was destroyed? By humans?" "Yes." "Sir?" Mordak replied quietly. "And sir, there's more. We're receiving reports of human fleets at 12 other Council worlds. They're not attacking. They're just waiting." "Waiting for what?" "We think they're waiting for us to make the next move." President Shin Hye-jin addressed the human nation that night. Her speech was broadcast to every human world and transmitted to every Council planet. Today, the Galaxy Council learned an important lesson. Humans do not start fights, but we finish them. They attacked our innocent civilians. They threatened our children. They chose war over peace. Her voice was calm but filled with steel. To the Galaxy Council, I say this. You wanted to see what humans are capable of. Now you know. We are stronger than you believed. We are smarter than you assumed. We are more dangerous than you imagined. This war can end today. Acknowledge our independence. Leave our people alone. Let us live in peace. Or continue fighting and discover just how patient hunters can be when their families are threatened. The message ended, but its meaning was clear. The Galaxy Council had awakened something they did not understand. They had started a war with the one species in the galaxy that never stopped fighting until they won. The humans were no longer pretending to be harmless. Now the aliens would learn what humans had always known. When you threaten someone's family, there is no such thing as too far. Commander Oh Sung-min floated in the darkness of space near the Velkari homeworld. His stealth suit made him invisible to sensors. Around him, 11 other members of Ghost Squadron waited in perfect silence. They had been here for 6 hours, studying their target. The Velkari thought their homeworld was safe. It was protected by 3 orbital defense platforms and a permanent fleet of 20 warships. No enemy had ever reached the planet's surface. Ghost Squadron was about to change. That. Team leaders, report, Oh Sung-min whispered into his communicator. Team Alpha ready, came the first response. We've identified the main power station. Team Beta in position, said another voice. Military Command Center is mapped. Team Gamma standing by. We have eyes on the planetary shield generator. Oh Sung-min smiled inside his helmet. For 15 years, he had been preparing for this mission. Ghost Squadron was made up of the most elite human soldiers. They had trained in every environment and studied every alien weakness. Tonight, they would demonstrate why humans were the most dangerous species in the galaxy. Meanwhile, on Earth, former peace negotiator Jong Yeon-ji sat in the Psychological Operations Center. Banks of computers surrounded her. Each one was broadcasting to a different alien world. Her job was not to destroy alien cities, it was to destroy alien confidence. Begin transmission to the Zorth Empire, she told her team. On screens across Zorth space, a simple message appeared. It showed pictures of the destroyed Council fleet at New Tokyo. Below the images were words in the Zorth language. The Galaxy Council told you humans were weak. The Galaxy Council lied. How many other lies have they told you? The message was simple, but devastating. For decades, the Council had told member species that humans were primitive and harmless. Now everyone could see the truth. Jong Eun-ji had studied alien psychology for years. She knew exactly how to break their confidence. The Zorth were herd animals. They panicked when they lost trust in their leaders. Other species had different weaknesses. All of them could be exploited. Sir, her communications officer reported, we're getting responses from Zorth colonies. They're demanding answers from their government. Good. Send the next message. Remind them who started this war. On the Galaxy Council capital world, Chairman Vex Thul tried to hold an emergency meeting. Representatives from 200 worlds had gathered in the Great Hall. But instead of unity, there was chaos. You told us humans had no military, shouted the crystalline ambassador. Your intelligence was completely wrong. The humans destroyed our attack fleet without losing a single ship, roared the Velkari representative. How is that possible? Chairman Vex Thul raised his 6 arms for silence. Fellow council members, we must remain calm. Yes, the humans are stronger than we believed. but we are still superior in numbers. Are we? Asked the Zorth delegate. How do we know anything about human numbers? They hid their true fleet size for 20 years. What else are they hiding? The chairman did not have a good answer. Intelligence reports were flooding in from across the galaxy. Human ships were appearing in systems where they had never been seen before. The Council's estimates of human strength had been wrong about everything. Back near the Velkari homeworld, Ghost Squadron was ready to begin their mission. Commander Oh Sung-min checked his equipment one final time. Tonight would be remembered as the night the Velkari learned to fear the dark. All teams, execute Operation Silent Thunder. The 12 humans split into 4 groups. They moved through space like ghosts, invisible and silent. Each team had a specific target. Each target was critical to the planet's defense. Team Alpha reached the main power station first. The facility was protected by energy shields and automated defenses. It would take a military fleet hours to break through. It took the humans 12 minutes. They did not attack the shields directly. Instead, they found the maintenance tunnels that the Velkari had forgotten about. They slipped inside like shadows and placed their charges precisely. Team Beta infiltrated the military command center by disguising themselves as maintenance workers. The Velkari guards saw what they expected to see: alien workers doing routine repairs. They never noticed the humans walking past them. Team Gamma had the hardest job. The planetary shield generator was heavily guarded and constantly monitored. But humans had one advantage the aliens never expected. They were patient. The team waited for 3 hours until the guards changed shifts. In the 30 seconds of confusion, they slipped past the defenses. By the time the new guards were in position, the humans were already inside. At exactly midnight Velkari time, all 4 teams activated their charges simultaneously. The planet's main power grid failed. The military command center went dark. The planetary shields collapsed. The orbital defense platforms lost power. In 48 minutes, 12 humans had neutralized the defenses of an entire world. On his command ship in orbit, Velkari Fleet Admiral Torgak stared at his screens in horror. How is this possible? Our homeworld is completely defenseless. Sir, his communications officer reported, we're receiving a transmission from the planet's surface. Commander Oh Sung-min's face appeared on the screen. He was standing in the Velkari Military Command Center, surrounded by alien officers who looked shocked and defeated. Admiral Torgak, this is Commander Oh Sung-min of the Human Special Forces. Your planet's defenses have been neutralized. Your command staff is unharmed but under our protection. Impossible. Our security is perfect. Your security was designed to stop fleets and armies. It was not designed to stop 12 humans who have been studying your weaknesses for 15 years. Oh Sung-min gestured to the Velkari officers around him. These brave soldiers fought well, but they were fighting the wrong kind of war. You cannot stop shadows with walls. You cannot catch ghosts with nets. Similar scenes were playing out across the galaxy. Human Special Forces teams were demonstrating their ability to strike anywhere, anytime. They did not destroy cities or kill civilians. They simply proved that nowhere was safe from human determination. The psychological effect was devastating. On the Council capital, emergency reports flooded in from 60 different worlds. In a single night, human teams had infiltrated the most secure facilities in Council space. Military bases, government centers, and defense installations had all been penetrated. Sir, Intelligence Chief Mordak reported to Chairman Vexthul, The humans have proven they can reach any target in Council space. Our defenses are useless against their infiltration techniques. How many humans are involved in these operations? We estimate no more than 500 total, small teams of elite soldiers. Chairman Vexthul felt sick. 500 humans had neutralized the defenses of 60 worlds. If such a small force could accomplish this much, what could a larger human army do? The answer came the next day. Admiral Kang Ji-won's fleet arrived at the Council's main military base at Beta Centauri. The massive space station was protected by forces from 12 different alien species. 200 warships guarded the facility. It was considered the most secure location in Council space. Council Defense Force. This is Admiral Kang Ji-won. You have 48 hours to evacuate all personnel from Beta Centauri. After that time, we will take control of the facility. The Council commander laughed. Human Admiral, you face 200 ships with a force of less than 50. We will not surrender to inferior numbers. Admiral Kang smiled. Who said anything about 50 ships? Human fleets began appearing throughout the system. First dozens, then hundreds, then thousands. Ships emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation. Within 6 hours, the Council force was outnumbered 20-1, but the humans did not attack immediately. They waited. For 48 hours, the alien defenders watched human ships surround them. The psychological pressure was enormous. The aliens knew they were completely outmatched, but they could not retreat without permission. When the deadline passed, Admiral Kang sent one final message. Council forces, you fought with honor, but this battle is over. Surrender now, and we will treat your crews with respect. The Council commander looked at his screens. Human ships filled every direction. There was no escape and no hope of victory. All ships, stand down. We surrender. The Battle of Beta Centauri lasted exactly 0 minutes. The humans had won without firing a shot. Jong Yun-ji watched the surrender broadcast across alien space. Her psychological warfare campaign was working perfectly. The Council species were beginning to question everything their leaders had told them about humans. Madam Director, her aide reported, we're receiving defection requests from 17 different species. They want to join the human side. Are they sincere? Intelligence believes so. They've seen what humans can do. They want to be on the winning side. Jong Un-ji smiled. The Galaxy Council had spent decades teaching other species to fear and respect strength. Now that humans had demonstrated superior strength, those same species were naturally switching sides. The aliens had created the rules of this game. They just never expected humans to play it better than they did. In the Council emergency session that night, Chairman Vexthul faced a room full of angry and frightened representatives. Fellow Council members, he began, we must accept reality. The humans are stronger than we believed, but we can still negotiate. Negotiate? Screamed the Velkari representative. Ambassador General Lim Jae-sung walked into the Galaxy Council chamber for the first time in 6 months. The Great Hall looked different now. Half the seats were empty. Many species had already withdrawn from the Council. Others had openly joined the human side. The remaining Council members watched him with a mixture of fear and desperate hope. They knew why he was here. The war was over, and it was time to discuss terms. But this time, humans would be setting the conditions. Speaker Veltar rose from his throne. The proud alien leader looked older and more tired than before. His blue skin had faded to a pale gray. The weight of defeat hung heavy on his shoulders. Ambassador General Lim Jae-sung, he said formally, the Galaxy Council Requests to hear your terms. Lim Jae-sung walked to the center of the chamber. 6 months ago, his predecessor had stood in this same spot and been threatened with enslavement. Today, the humans were dictating the future of the galaxy. "Honored delegates," he began, his voice calm and respectful. "6 months ago, you gave humanity a choice. Submit to your control or face destruction. We chose a third option. We chose freedom." The aliens listened in silence. There were no angry shouts or threats now. They had learned to respect human strength. "The war is over," Lim Jae-sung continued. "Your fleets are defeated. Your defenses are neutralized. Your member species are abandoning you. You have lost." He paused to let the words sink in. "But humans do not seek revenge. We seek justice. We seek a galaxy where no species can threaten another's children. We seek a future where strength protects the weak instead of enslaving them." On the human capital ship New Dawn, Admiral Ryu Seong-ah watched the proceedings from her command center. Around her, screens showed the transformed galaxy. Human fleets patrolled former Council space, but they were not occupying worlds. They were protecting them. "Admiral," her communications officer reported, "Colony Director Bae Young-soo wants to speak with you about the integration programs." Admiral Ryu nodded. The humans had been working for months to establish a new government. Unlike the Council's system of domination, the Terran Compact was based on cooperation and mutual respect. Colony Director Bae Young-soo appeared on her screen. Behind him, humans and aliens worked together to build a new settlement on Kepler 9. Former enemies were becoming partners. "Admiral, the first mixed colony is exceeding all expectations. The crystalline refugees are teaching our engineers new construction techniques. The Zorth farmers are sharing advanced growing methods. The former Velkari soldiers are training our security forces." "Any problems?" Admiral Ryu asked. "Just the opposite. The aliens can't believe we're treating them as equals instead of slaves. Many are asking to become permanent human allies." Back in the council chamber, Lim Jae-sung was outlining the terms of the new order. "The Galaxy Council is dissolved," he announced. "It will be replaced by the Terran Compact. Every species will have an equal voice. Every world will govern itself. No species will rule over another." The few remaining council delegates looked confused. This was not what they expected from conquerors. "What about punishment?" asked the Zorth representative. "What about reparations? For your losses?" "There will be no punishment for those who accept the new order," Lim Jae-sung replied. "There will be no reparations demanded from species who choose cooperation over conflict. The past is finished. We are building the future." He gestured to the empty seats around the chamber. "Look around you. Most of your former allies have already joined us. They have seen what humans offer. Freedom instead of slavery. Protection instead of exploitation. Partnership instead of domination." Former Speaker Veltar stood up slowly. His forearms shook as he spoke. "Ambassador General, I do not understand. You have won. You could enslave us all. You could rule the galaxy. Why do you choose mercy?" Lim Jae-sung smiled sadly. "Because that is not who we are. We did not fight this war to become like you. We fought to stop you from making us like you." He walked closer to the alien leader. "Speaker Veltar, for 20 years you tried to understand humans. You studied our technology, our culture, our history. But you never understood the most important thing about us. What is that?" We become stronger when we protect others. We become weaker when we hurt innocents. Your species gain power by conquering. Humans gain power by freeing. The transformation of the galaxy had been swift and remarkable. Admiral Ryu watched reports from across human space. Former Council worlds were thriving under the new system. Trade was booming. Art and science were flourishing. The constant fear of war was disappearing. Admiral, her aide reported, President Shin wants to address the galaxy tonight. She's asked all human commanders to ensure the broadcast reaches every world. That evening, President Shin Hye-jin appeared on screens across known space. She spoke not just to humans, but to every intelligent species in the galaxy. 6 months ago, the Galaxy Council told us we were too dangerous to be free. They said humans were violent primitives who needed to be controlled. They were wrong. Her voice was warm but firm. We are dangerous, but only to those who threaten the innocent. We are primitive compared to some of your technologies, but we are advanced in the ways that matter most. We understand that true strength comes from lifting others up, not holding them down. She gestured to images of humans and aliens working together. Today, former enemies are building new worlds together. Former masters and slaves are learning to be equals. Former council species are discovering what it means to be truly free. This is what humans offer the galaxy. Not domination, but liberation. Not conquest, but cooperation. Not an empire, but a family. On the former council capital world, the last meeting of the old government was taking place. Only 12 species remained loyal to the failed system. The rest had joined the Terran Compact or declared neutrality. Chairman Vex Thule looked around the nearly empty chamber. "This is the end," he said quietly. "The Galaxy Council is finished." "What do we do now?" asked one of the remaining delegates. "We have 3 choices," the chairman replied. "We can fight the humans and be destroyed. We can hide and be irrelevant. Or we can join them and be free." Join them? After everything that has happened? "Look at the worlds that have joined the Compact," Vexthul said. "They are prospering. Their people are happy. The humans have kept every promise they made." One by one, the remaining council delegates made their choice. By morning, the Galaxy Council had voted to dissolve itself and request membership in the Terran Compact. 3 months later, Ambassador General Lim Jae-sung stood before a very different assembly. The new Terran Compact Parliament included representatives from over 200 species. Former enemies sat next to former victims. Ancient rivalries were being replaced by cooperation. "Delegates of the Terran Compact," he began. "1 year ago, humans were considered a minor species on the edge of civilized space. Today, we gather as equals to build a better future for all." He looked out at the diverse crowd. "We have learned that every species has something valuable to offer. The crystalline teach us patience and precision. The Zorth show us cooperation and community. Even the Velkari have wisdom about strength and courage. But most importantly, we have learned that differences make us stronger, not weaker. A galaxy of diverse peoples working together is more powerful than any empire built on conquest." The chamber erupted in applause. Sounds of approval came in dozens of languages from hundreds of different vocal cords. Later that day, former Speaker Veltar approached Lim Jae-sung privately. The old alien looked healthier than he had in months. "Ambassador General, I wanted to thank you." "Thank me? For what?" "For showing us a better way. For 20 years I believed that strength meant making others fear you. You have taught me that. True strength means making others trust you." Veltar paused, choosing his words carefully. My people, we want to make amends for what we did. We want to help build this new galaxy. Your people are welcome in the compact, Lim Jae-sung replied. We judge species by their actions today, not their mistakes yesterday. There is one more thing, Veltar said quietly. I need to know. When you humans were pretending to be weak, were you planning this all along? Lim Jae-sung smiled. We were not pretending to be weak. We were choosing to be patient. There is a difference. What is the difference? Weakness cannot choose to be strong, but strength can choose to be gentle. We were always strong enough to do what we did. We just hoped we would never have to prove it. The old alien nodded slowly. I understand now. You gave us every chance to do the right thing. We gave you the chances you gave yourselves, Lim Jae-sung corrected. In the end, every species chooses its own path. 5 years later, the galaxy was transformed beyond recognition. The Terran Compact included over 300 species. Former slave worlds were now thriving democracies. Ancient enemies had become trading partners and friends. Children from dozens of species played together on integrated worlds. Scientists from hundreds of cultures collaborated on projects that would have been impossible under the old system. Artists created works that blended traditions from across the galaxy. On Earth, an old man sat in a quiet garden, reading reports from across human space. Admiral Kim Dong-ho had retired from military service, but he still kept track of what humans were building among the stars.